So one other thing to talk about before we hit a break, Cowboys OTAs getting underway this week. Spoke with the Cowboys front office source earlier this morning. George Pickens has not yet walked into the building this week. I don't think anybody really expects for him to walk in the building this week. It is a voluntary OTA, so he is not compelled to be there. Mandatory minicamp a couple weeks down the road, different set of circumstances, but given his contract situation, given the at least somewhat impasse that there is present here between Pickens, his agent, and the Dallas Cowboys front office, for him to show up to voluntary OTAs would have been a surprise, so it's not at all surprising that he hasn't as of yet.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the only one on the roster who's not at these voluntary workouts. Now, 2 weeks from now when they all have to be there, I think that's when we'll get a better sense of exactly how he's feeling towards this contract situation. Because, I think we've been through this so many times, so many summers, where there's a star and a contract dispute with the Jones front office, the Jones family. I think if he does show up, it's actually really telling that he's able. I mean, we know the decision for this season. Like, they're not going to enter contract discussions with him. So, or at least that's what Stephen Jones has said publicly.
Yeah.
He's playing on the franchise tag. It kind of seemed like his agent was like, all right, go have another career year. How he decides to go about that, I think we'll get a really good indication of literally 2 weeks from today on June 16th when mandatory minicamp begins.
I think my frustration with this entire saga boils down to you guys ditched Micah Parsons in a similar situation for this, but part of the rationale was we're going to free up cap space to be able to do or take care of the roster. And it's like, this was like item 1 or 2 on the list, right? And if you were going to save money to try and keep him happy, there was a way to avoid this. There was a way to keep him in camp and at least get him around. Whether or not he has to physically be here or not, like the rest of the roster, I understand that kind of dilemma. I get that. And granted, this will reach a totally different fever point if and when he doesn't show up in a couple weeks here. But he could be there right now. He could be there helping this team either maintain its form from last year or getting there. This is a decision by the front office to instigate where I don't think they needed to.
I think they feel like they wanted, and they've vocalized this much, they want one more trip around the sun with this kid to see what he will look like in the spring of 2027. They want, and I don't think that they should need to. I think that we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I think he's answered a lot of the questions that there were to be had about him and who he is as a player and who he is as a member of the locker room. He's answered a lot of those questions. He's checked a lot of those boxes in the plus category.
Yeah.
Maybe not every single one.
Right.
There were small things left, but small things. Small things.
But that's my point. It's like
they want to see one more trip and see if he can check every single box before they drop a bag on his doorstep.
Are those boxes, to me, worth this headache?
Okay, I will say, the Rangers are popping into my mind right now. It is to the point of the Jones family. Like, that was his best season. And he had one that looked like that in totality. I'm not even talking about off-the-field stuff, in which we had like the Vegas stuff and whatnot. Like, there were some instances where you're like, but
there were some blips.
I'm talking just production-wise on the field and numbers. Like, that was a great season, but it was his best season.
And by far.
And you think about some of these, and I get baseball is very statistically different, but like having one good season is not enough to put you in that category of a Corey Seager. And look at even what Corey Seager was doing at the beginning of this season, right? Like, I'm thinking Josh Smith. Josh Smith had a silver slugger year. What was that, a couple years ago? Or even go back to 2023. Josh Young, all-star in 2023. He followed that up with 2 down years, and now he's been excellent in 26. But I guess my mind in this conversation is going to, yes, George Pickens had an excellent 2025 season. I don't think it's actually crazy for the Cowboys front office to say, okay, follow that up with another one. Show us that there can be a certain level of consistency and production that we can expect out of you, and then we'll pay you. 1 year could have been more of an anomaly.
But I do want to say, when we're comparing his stats, his previous quarterbacks were Kenny Pickett, Mitchell Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, Russell Wilson, and Justin Fields. That is a different, comparable group to
fair.
Dak Prescott.
Yep. Very different.
So
good context.
I'm not sure that's quite a fair comparison for him. And because everyone knew his talent was there. It was always about whether anyone could throw him the ball.
Yeah.
That's fair. That is fair.
They want to see it one more time.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't think if he doesn't show up to mandatory minicamp, will he have technically broken the rules? Fine. Training camp is what matters.
Yeah.
Sure.
Show up in time for training camp. I don't think anybody's really going to care.
If they really truly are still practicing together outside of the walls of the Star.
Yeah.
If they're not, to wait until late July to start getting those reps in, detrimental when you could have been starting that.
And that's my point. Like, this is a front office decision as much as it is Pickens trying to do what's best for him. Mm-hmm. So I just want to make sure, as much as we're centering this conversation around whether Pickens shows up, all of this could have been avoided if the front office decided, hey, one more box isn't what we needed.
No doubt. No doubt.